This is the plaintiff, Maria Luisa Guidi Chavez. She says she paid the defendant money in advance to babysit her child, but he was taken from her over an unfortunate incident, and the defendant refuses to refund her money. The defendant never actually babysat for her. She's not about to pay her for work she didn't do and is definitely owed the $300 she gave to her. This is the defendant, Rose Palomino. She says she and the plaintiff were once friends. And one thing's for sure, she doesn't owe that woman a dime. Yes, it's true her child was taken from her by child services. And yes, she was paid to babysit him. But since the plaintiff owed her money for a previous loan, they decided the $300 would be used to pay off her prior debt. Now her former friend is turning around and suing her for no good reason. Come on. She's accused of fouling up a friendship.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says that she fronted the defendant money for babysitting services that she never did. But the defendant says the plaintiff's kid was taken away from her by child services, and the whole thing is just a mess. It's the case of adventures in babysitting.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
okay, Maria Luisa Guidi Chavez, you are suing Rose Palomino for $300 that you paid her to take care of your children, which ended up not being necessary. Tell me what happened.
What happened is I'm planning to have emergency family situation, and I'm planning to go to Honduras, Central America. So I spoke to Rose Palomino about to take care of my son.
How old is your son?
He's 8 years old.
And how do you know Ms. Palomino?
Like from 2009.
Okay. And she was going to take care of your child because you had a family emergency in
Yes.
Honduras?
It was only on 1 month.
You were going to leave for a month, or it was a month away that you were going to leave?
It was only 1 month.
How long was she going to be gone for?
She told me she was going for a month.
Oh, a whole month?
A whole month.
And then how much were you supposed to get paid to watch your kid?
She was going to give me $600.
For the whole month?
For the whole month, yes.
What was the family emergency? Can you tell me, or? Well, okay, you don't have to. Was it an emergency or was it vacation?
She was going to party. Okay, that's what she told me. There was no emergency, miss.
So that I'm not Miss. You're calling me Miss?
I'm sorry, Judge.
I'm Judge. All
Sorry.
right.
I apologize.
But if she was going to party, and that's just say, hey, can you watch my kid for a month because I want to party? Why were you only charging her $600?
That's exactly what she told me. She's going to Honduras because she hasn't been there in like many years. So she was like, she's gonna go have a great time.
Okay, so she was going on she was going to visit family,
exactly.
Go on vacation. There wasn't
Correct.
like an emergency.
Yes.
According to you, there was never an emergency.
There was never an emergency. She was just going to Honduras. She told me, she hasn't been
Do
there.
you know
like
her
years.
son well?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
But we didn't meet in 2009. We met like 4 years ago. Okay, when her son was taken away from her from ACS. That's how we met. So
why was your son taken away the first time?
It was neglected. They accused me by neglected. So that's why they took it.
And where did your son go?
He went to foster care.
For how long?
For 2 years and a half.
2.5 years?
For 2 years.
And then what happened? And then you're planning to go to Honduras for a month. You offer her $600 to take care of him for a month?
Yeah.
And then you pay her $300.
Because I was having an emergency situation in Honduras.
What was the emergency?
One of them, the lady, she raised me, she died. And my father died too.
Okay, she died and you were going to go a month later? How is that an emergency?
And my father died too. So that's why
When did your father die?
He just died recently. So I was trying to organize the
Let's talk about this. She says that when she met you, your child had been taken away from you. And according to you, your child lived away from you in foster care for how long? 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Was your child taken away again?
Yeah, because I was drinking with her. And I was in her house. I went to pick up my 1 year old son on daycare.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2. I have 2 boys.
You went to pick up your 1-year-old son at daycare
And,
after drinking at her house. Did you go with her to pick up your son or alone?
No, I went alone. I went alone. They smell alcohol on me, and they let me go home. They call ACS.
Who's they? The daycare?
The daycare called ACS, reporting me that I was drinking and I was smelling alcohol.
And and the authorities went to the daycare and took him, and then now he's in foster care?
No, he's in foster care.
What about the 8-year-old?
It was in her house. Then I went to pick him up.
Okay.
To her house.
Okay.
So ACS took from that day. ACS took a little bit time to October 9 to take me to court. On the court, they took both of them.
Do you know more than this?
Yes.
What is it?
No, number one, Judge, she was not in my house drinking. She left her son, 8-year-old son, alone and went to pick up the baby, the infant, drunk.
She left her 8-year-old son alone where?
Yes, in her home, in her apartment. So, and then she went to pick up...
Why was she, has she been with you drinking all day?
No, not at all.
So she had not been with you that day at all?
Not at all.
All right, go on.
She had a prior case to this. She left her baby home alone for 2 hours. So she was under investigation. So now when she called me and, she wasn't speaking well. She was just like, I think they're going to call ACS. I'm like, Maria, are you okay? She was like, no. She was like, I was drinking. So she was trying to get me to lie for her, to tell them that she was in my house. And, I was like, I'm not.
That she was in your house and what?
Yeah, that she was in my house at the time that,
And that what?
That we was, like she was drinking in my house. I said, no.
Why would that be better?
I don't know. Ask her. I have no idea, Judge.
Did you ever tell the authorities that she was at your house?
I will not. No.
And then what happened?
Next thing you know, about a couple of days after, I think she had court, and then I think she had to take a drug test and alcohol test, and I guess she failed.
They had you take a test, and you failed the test. How did you fail? What was in your system?
It was alcohol.
So you couldn't even stop drinking for the test?
Do
you have an alcohol problem? Do you have an alcohol problem?
No. Before.
She then tells you, they took the children away from me. I won't need you to take care of my kid after all?
Yeah.
And what was the plan? She was going to go to Honduras with the baby?
No, I mean, I don't know about.
You were going to watch both kids?
No, I don't. That was her plan at first, and she was like, I'm going to watch, if I can watch both kids. But she was lying to me. She kept on telling me for a week. And then come to find out, with the guy that she's going to meet there, he told me a month. That's how I found out the truth.
How did you find out the guy she was going to meet there?
Because he's on Facebook. And, we was like, I was in her house one day, and then, he told me, I was like, oh, so are you happy if Maria's going, finally to Honduras, bye-bye, to meet you? And then I was like, she's going to be there for a week.
She didn't even know the guy?
No, she met this guy on Facebook. And let me tell you, she doesn't work, so this is under expenses, the city's expenses, under her son's, SSI
According
check.
to you, she owed you money.
Yes, she did.
What did she owe you money for and when?
Put it this way, every time Maria will ask, I will give it to her because she, her story is always sad. She doesn't have family.
It's not that sad.
No, she never had family.
It's sad for the children. It's not that sad for her. I mean,
Right.
while you're busy meeting boys on Facebook and going to Honduras and partying, your kids have to live in foster care. Get it together.
Should there be a 3 strikes rule if your kid is taken away, say 3 times by Children's Services going into that? What do you say?
I don't think so. I think you should be able to.
Constantly rehabilitate. Yeah, well, you know what? That's exactly what you did is the problem, going inside the courtroom.
When you pay somebody $300 to watch your kid for a week and then you're going to make it a month without them knowing, all right, or a month, whatever it may be, because at some point it was a month. Because when I asked you $600 for the month, you're like, yeah, I know, but I felt sorry for her. So at some point before she's leaving, it's a month. You are entering into a contract with her. And then through no fault of her own, you breach the contract by managing to get your kids taken away from you a second time. She's ready, willing, and able to fulfill the contract, but you're not. So whether you don't have to, she doesn't have to return it to you because you owed her that money from prior times, or whether she doesn't have to return it to you because you're the one who breached by managing to get yourself in a situation where you now no longer have kids to take care of, that means that she does not have to return to you the money. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies, hold on right there, hold up.
Okay.
So the plaintiff leaves the courtroom empty-handed. Step right next to me here. First of all, what's your feeling about the judge's ruling here in this case?
I feel bad because she was lying that I was saying that I was going to party stuff. Really, I really have emergency family situation. My father
Do you
died.
think you're a good mother?
Yes, I do. I really do, because I'll be there for my children all the time. That's what happened when I hanging out with wrong people, and really, it's my fault, because I should be not hanging out with wrong people like that.
All right, please follow Officer McIntosh this way. And you come out with this smile on your face. What's going through your mind?
Actually, the only thing that's going through my mind right now is I will never be friend ever again. That's what I've learned. Thank you.
Harvey?
Look, I mean, here is the deal. The key factor here is that the defendant made a deal with the plaintiff, and it is not the plaintiff's fault in any way, shape, or form that the kid was taken away, so you have to pay.